Good afternoon and welcome as we begin a new chapter in Houston Cougar football. Thank you all so very much for being here. We will open it up to question and answer coming up in just a few minutes. Also a photo op as well. But we want to start things off today by introducing the chairman of the Board of Regents here at the University of Houston, Tillman Fertitta.
Mayor is here.
Gosh, it seems like we just did this about 2 years ago. The players look a lot happier this time, though. So, we're thrilled. Everybody is out here. Great process. We feel like we got the right man. When we started this process, the committee decided we're going to all be 100% consensus, and it wasn't always that way. And because we looked at a lot of good people, but it was clear cut at the end that there was only one guy for this job, and that was Major Applewhite. And I want to thank Jack Moore, Donna Cornell, of course, our athletic director, Hunter Urachek, for really lining everything up. But more than anybody else, there's a guy that was on this committee and the committee 2 years ago, a fellow Regent, Armour Spencer. And I can tell you, you need to walk up and shake his hand, because he's kept us on the straight line 2 years ago, and he kept us on the straight line today. So you can thank a lot of those victories in the last 2 years and for the next 2 years because of him, okay? And of course, our wonderful chancellor, who demands that we win 12 games every year. Honestly, and truly wants us to be just a very competitive program in all sports, and also one of the top universities academically. There's nothing like wanting to be good, and just remember that the rest of your life. And it's always simple, especially these young guys out here, it's always simple to separate yourself from everybody else, and that's from having high expectations. You don't always hit them. I've had lots of failures, but I've always had high expectations. So, Major, I'm just so happy you're here. Hunter, just great job running this. Unbelievable support for our chancellor, and Jack and Donna, and of course Armour again. Thank you all very much. I can't wait till this Saturday, and I really can't wait till next September. It's going to be a fun, great time. And thank you, all you Cougars, for coming out.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Go Cougs, this is an exciting day. So when I came 9 years ago, we had the exact same goal what we have today, and that is we don't settle with mediocrity. We are building a nationally competitive, nationally relevant program, whether it's academically or it's athletically. And with that in mind, we have done a lot in football, of course. You know, we have built a beautiful, gorgeous stadium. We are about to build the practice facility. We have hired the best, who in turn have recruited the best student athletes, and the results are clear. We are a winning program. We are a nationally relevant program. We are a nationally competitive program. And now that we started searching for the coach, I had 3 expectations. I wanted a coach who would give absolute priority to the educational experience of our student athletes. Because at the end of the day, it's the student athletes, they're students first, and you should have the best educational experience here. Second, I wanted to make sure that we have clean and compliant program, because compliance to all the rules and policies, everything is so critical and so important. We cannot have a bad step. And thirdly, of course, I wanted a winning program. Because when the students graduate, I want to make sure you go and leave from here with the thrill of having been part of a winning program. But it's also important for our students. I mean, see the engagement in TDECU when we have great program, winning program, and it's important for our boosters and important for our city and absolutely important for our donors and for our entire Coug Nation. So when we saw Major Applewhite, I did not know him actually very much, other than knowing as our offensive coordinator, didn't have chance to at all socialize. But now that I met with him, I could see full integrity, enormous sincerity, passion, and of course expectations that were way beyond even mine. So it doesn't matter what I say, what I want you to do or him to do. I know what he's going to do. And those are the kinds of people I like, who are doing things because they have to prove it to themselves, not because they have to prove it to me or to anybody else. We're just so excited. And I'm so excited to see all of the alumni, because without you, we will not be where we are today. With every single step in this football program over 9 years, we have gone a step further and have become better program. And we are continuing on that trajectory, and it will not be possible without you all. It will not be possible without our wonderful students, because they are the ones who are responsible for building this beautiful stadium. And I am definitely very, very, very grateful to the coaching staff, to everybody in athletics, and we're very proud of our student athletes. I know several of you are here. I see you across campus. I'm so proud of you, for what you have done this year, what you're going to continue to do, because you are the reason why we are here. I also wanted to make sure I acknowledge the presence of our esteemed mayor of the city of Houston, Sylvester Turner. There isn't bigger, better coup. Our state representative, Carol Alvarado, is here too, and thank you for everything you do. Many of our city council people are here. I know Councilman Boykins is here, but there are other two here too. If you are here, would you please just raise your hand so we can thank you? Yes, thank you so much for being here.
Board of Regents and ex-chairman.
Yes. And our Board of Regents are here, so let me introduce our Vice Chairman of the Board of Regents. Welcome, Wilson Jr. Our Secretary of the Board of Regents is Spencer Armour. And also sitting here are Regent Gerald McKelvey, Regent Peter Taft, Regent Paula Mendoza. And also the two people who are responsible 9 years ago for bringing me here, and every single opportunity I thank them for that fortunate day in my life when they hired me, and that is former Regent Welcome Wilson Sr. and former Regent Leroy Hermes, both of you. Now I turn to Coach Applewhite. Coach, we are so happy that you are here. I mean, you honestly, you do have that fire in your belly, and I know, as I tweeted also, that you have dream in your eyes, and that is the dream of champions, and that's what I like to see. So just know that I'm here with you. The whole Coug Nation is here with you. We're going to do everything possible to make sure that you have tools to be successful, so tools to be able to take these young men here and make them into absolutely successful leaders in life, on the field, in the classroom. So congratulations, we're grateful, we're proud. Thank you. And go Cougs, everybody, go Cougs!
Well, good afternoon. Another day, great day to be a Houston Cougar, is it not? Band, cheerleaders, dance team, thank you. You guys make the atmosphere at TDECU Stadium anytime you're in it unbelievable. Thank you for taking time in the middle of exams to be here today to help us celebrate. And thanks to each of you for being here today as we officially introduce and launch the major Applewhite era here at the University of Houston. You know, as I look back at the past 2 weeks and how we have arrived here today, there are a number of people I owe a sincere thanks to for their assistance, their support, and their counsel. First and foremost, these two unbelievable people sitting to my right. The chairman of our Board of Regents, Tillman Fertitta, and our university president and system chancellor, Renu Couture. I can't thank you guys enough for your support throughout this process. And you know, I think the perception sometimes outside of this university that there's a lot more than support that goes on there. But I can tell you, they supported me and guided me through this entire process, and I can't thank them enough for always being there for me in the 2 years I've been athletic director and giving me this opportunity. So thanks to both of you. I want to thank my deputy athletic director and my right hand, Jeremiah Dickey. Jeremiah, where are you at? He's been thanked a number of times, and I think if they still charge for phone minutes, the phone minutes between me and him, between here and Midlands, we'd both have an expensive phone bill, but Regent Spencer Armour, thank you. I know he's left. He was here earlier for a reception, but the president of our Board of Visitors, Mr. Jack Moore. Our University Vice President and Chief Legal Counsel, Donna Cornell. Donna, where are you at? Back there in the back. David Bassity. Where are you at, David? Over here. He's our Associate AD for Communications. To my dear friends in the media, when I go through one of these searches, I usually cut you guys off from, I don't want to know what you're talking about, but David is really good at informing me what I need to know from time to time during this process. So David, thank you. Your experience through this and your relationships with the members of our media is invaluable. To my right hand in the office, Allie Burnell. Where are you at, Allie? Oh, hey, Allie. Good. And I would be remiss as you go through a 2-week search process. I spent very little time at home, and even when I was at home, I think I was on the phone or severely distracted. So to my lovely wife, Jennifer, the only request she had is when I started this search was, please go out and get us a Christmas tree. And I did that, right? First thing I did. I don't know if he's here, but I have to say a big thank you to our defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando. He served as our interim coach during this process and has done an unbelievable job during his 2 years here as our defensive coordinator and during his 2 weeks as our interim head coach. And he made a very challenging, tough meeting for an athletic director unbelievably easy because of his professionalism and his commitment to our young men. So Coach Orlando, I don't know if you're here, but let's give him a big hand. And the final group I want to thank is our student athletes from our football program. You guys have no idea what they've been through this year. They've had so many highs and so many lows, but they continue to pick themselves up, and I can't wait to see these guys take the field on Saturday. But if you men from our football program will all stand up so we can give you a round of applause. As this process began, we defined that we wanted a coach with great integrity, who believed in our mission and truly believed in the student-athlete experience. We set our sights on a focused competitor who has demonstrated success and possessed a deep connection to college and high school football in the great state of Texas. They also needed to have a true passion for and understanding of the rich history of football success here at the University of Houston. As our one and only final choice, Major Applewhite far exceeded our criteria. Our football program over the past 2 seasons has gone 22-4. We've won an American Athletic Conference championship. We've won a Peach Bowl championship. And we've had convincing wins over national powers, Florida State, Oklahoma, and Louisville. We indeed have a great culture in place that Major Applewhite played a significant role in developing and fostering. Now he has the opportunity to further enhance this winning culture with his own style of leadership and commitment to our student athletes. I'm so excited to have the chance to work alongside Major and assist him and his staff in continuing to push our nationally relevant football program to the next level. To his beautiful family, his wife, Julie, his daughter, Lila. I see you, Lila. I see you right there. And to their son, Nash, who I'm sure will remember this day. I promise you this is going to be an exciting and fulfilling journey for your family, and I look forward to sharing it with each of you. One of the things that Major talked about during this process that completely resonated with me as a director of athletics was his commitment to our student athletes. He told me how he had enjoyed his moment in the sun, and his time in the spotlight as a student athlete was now behind him. As a head coach, he understood that he's here for our players, to make each of them better students, better athletes, and better men. These men are not here to make him better or to put him in the spotlight. It's easy for us who are involved in college athletics to lose sight of the primary reason for our involvement, and that is to develop and enhance the experience of our student athletes. As a former student athlete, Major Applewhite has not lost sight of this mission. With this in mind, today it's not appropriate for me to introduce Coach Applewhite. It's appropriate to have a student athlete do that, and no better person to do this than one of our 4 senior captains and a quarterback of our football program than Greg Ward.
Don't make me nervous, man. It's an honor and a privilege to represent my teammates and to stand before y'all today. I know I speak for my team when I say that we are very excited and very blessed to have Coach Applewhite representing us to just lead the team. And this guy is a great leader, and we all believe in him and we trust in him, and we also believe that he'll do great things here. With that being said, I'd like to officially introduce our 14th head coach, Coach Major Applewhite.
You got me on that one, Hunter.
Hunter, will you give me some shorts like
That
that?
hit pretty deep right there. That means a lot. You know, as Hunter mentioned, before I get into the thank yous, as Hunter mentioned, I have had my moment in the sun, and everything for the last 2 years has really been about that quarterback room, that offense, our players in general. As a coach on Coach Herman's staff, there's an inordinate amount of time, sometimes an exhausting amount of time that you spend with those players, but again, it's about those young men. It's about what we do in terms of trying to win championships, trying to be great on the field, be great in the classroom, and then also create professional opportunities for them in the real world. So for you to spring that on me, that was pretty solid. I appreciate that, Hunter. Thank yous. Dr. Couture, Chairman Fertitta, the Board of Regents, Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek. It's your leadership, it's your commitment, it's your vision that allows us to continue to elevate this university on a daily basis and our city on a daily basis, and I'm extremely proud to be a part of that. I can't start and go any further unless I acknowledge my family. My wife, Julie, the backbone of our family. We've had our highs and we've had our lows, and we're an unbeatable team. I love you and I appreciate you. Lila, little Nash, you have no clue what I'm saying right now, but it's every morning that I walk down that hallway and I walk past their bedrooms and back out that driveway, and you give me a sense of purpose every day. You'll know what that means in a few years. But it's that purpose and that's that same drive that I feel when I'm pulling out that driveway for these young men over here. Again, it's about them. College football in a lot of ways has lost its mind, but we have to understand that it's about these young student athletes and it's about the opportunities we present for them. Also, a special thank you to the coaches who have come before me, the players that have come before me. I've had an opportunity to meet several in the last 2 years, guys like Andre Ware, guys like Case Keenum, Simon Fletcher came and spoke to our team before the Tulane game. I understand how rich this program is in tradition, the winning tradition that we have, and truly standing on the shoulders of giants. And these guys are giants themselves, and they've elevated our program to a nationally relevant program. We're going to continue to do that and go further with that. To my mentors, guys like Greg Robinson, Todd Graham, Nick Saban, Mac Brown, and especially Tom Herman for bringing me here 2 years ago. Their leadership, their lessons, their sacrifices, everything that they have taught me has allowed me to stand here today, and I'm extremely grateful for them and extremely grateful for that opportunity the same way I'm grateful for this opportunity today from you guys. Lastly, and certainly not least, the relationships that I've been able to build in these 13 years with the high school coaches in the state of Texas. When this job came open, it was an immediate willingness to help. And that meant a lot to me. There's a lot of sacrifices that go into play when you're out on the road recruiting and you're walking into 6 a.m. off-season drills, athletic periods in the middle of the day. You're going in and out of hotels in the month of December and January and April and May. And you don't really realize until maybe an instance like that 2 weeks ago the impact of those relationships and the overwhelming support. And there were some emotional moments that I had getting off the phone with some of those coaches, and you realize it's more than just recruiting players. It's an actual relationship that you've developed with someone. But I am extremely excited. My face doesn't always say it, but I'm extremely excited. For those guys out there, they know what the real face looks like. But extremely excited, extremely honored to be a part of this program, to be able to lead this program, and to be your new head football coach. It's always been a goal of mine to be a football coach, to be a head football coach, and to be able to do that at the University of Houston and this unique opportunity is the ultimate. It's the ultimate. It's one of the premier jobs in the country, and to be able to start it here is extremely special to me. Growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but spending my professional career over here coaching the state of Texas, I've always looked at this program from afar, been able to witness its success regardless of who the head coach is. And that's one thing that I can always tell student athletes is regardless of who the head coach is, Houston is a winning program. It is a winning university and it is a winning city. But when I see the resources, I see the commitment to excellence, not only just on the football field but in the classroom. I see the city that we have, the career opportunities that we have for our student athletes. That's what makes this job so attractive to me. And then obviously when you combine that with the great pool of talent that we have in this city, the high school coaches that pour their hearts out to their players and develop talent, it truly is a gold mine. Everything is right in our backyard and everything is here for these young men to be successful. So this job was extremely attractive to me. It was extremely attractive to my wife and our family. It was somewhere we would want to stay. We want to build continuity. We want to continue to win at a championship level and go beyond. 9-3 is not good enough for us. We know that as players and we know that as coaches. Nobody in this room will set a higher expectation for this football team than me. That is the facts. I've always been a winner, I will always be a winner, and I will always set those expectations for our football team. So we will have that. Now about our program, my style, will it differ? Yes, I'm a different person. But at the same time, we're going to continue to rely upon the same principles and values that have stood the test of time, and they have proven testimony in terms of success. The first thing that we're going to do as a football program is we're going to establish relationships that are built on trust. And not only just in the coaching community for recruits, but specifically with our student athletes. I want every one of our recruits to understand from the infancy stages of recruiting to that professional career opportunity that we present after you graduate, it is all based on trust. You have to trust us, we have to trust you, but that's where we're going to start our program with trust. We can't get enough out of you guys if you don't believe in us as coaches, and vice versa. So that's where our program is going to start. The second thing that we're going to instill in our football program is toughness. Toughness. They can't put a price tag on how important that is as a football player. You've got to be not only tough on the football field, but you've got to be tough to be a student athlete. It's a very demanding, for lack of a better term, it's a very demanding profession. The word amateur doesn't do it justice. So it's very demanding, and the toughness that you're going to have physically on the football field, but the mental toughness that we're going to have as a football program is something that will be unmatched. Competitiveness. That's something that we will be as a football program each and every day. We will have a competitive spirit in everything that we do. We will understand that championship habits is what we're working towards. I'm a firm believer that once you create your habits create you. And we will create championship habits in everything we do on the classroom, everything that we do on the football field. And we will understand that we will set that bar high and we will set that standard high and we'll be relentless in our pursuit for it as a football program. On a daily basis, it will be no different for our guys in terms of understanding that you're either here or you are here as a football player and as a student each and every day. So we will strive towards that goal. We'll work towards that goal. We'll obviously have the trust factor involved in our program and we'll help you reach that goal. And then lastly, you're going to have an entertaining brand of football. We've done a great job the last 2 years. Fan support, TDUC Stadium has been a live environment. It's been a live environment, and it's very important for our football players. It's very important for our staff to create that environment. So we're going to continue to create that on all three phases of the football. We're going to be relentless in what we do. We're going to be aggressive in what we do, and we're going to be innovative and a little bit unique in what we do. We're going to bring an entertaining brand of football, something that you want to sit in the stands, that you want to get there early, and that you want to stay late for, and you want to support our student athletes. It's with that being said that I'm extremely honored. I'm extremely humbled by this opportunity. I look forward to pouring my heart out. I know my wife does and our family does. Look forward to pouring our heart outs for these student athletes. And we are going to provide a product and a program that everybody in this room can be extremely proud of. So thank you very much, and go Cougs.
Okay, we'll have a photo op coming up in just a couple of minutes, but we're going to open it up for some questions. So I'm guessing we're going to be looking over here to the left.
Major, what's your biggest challenge right now?
Right. That's the. Yeah, you know, right now in recruiting right now, a lot of young prospects are kind of caught up in the cult of personality. You know, and you get involved with this particular coach and you get involved with his personality, but what we have to understand is college football is changing. As the money has changed, so has the time of employment. And so we've got to start, as recruiters, we've got to start talking to these young men about the benefits of the university, the academic environment, what we can do for you after your career, after you've won championships, and after you've graduated. So to answer your question specifically, yes, it's the recruiting class. We've got a very, very talented recruiting class. I've spoken with all of them already. Many of them are staying and are 100% committed, and obviously I appreciate that. But as I mentioned in the press conference just a few minutes ago, we've always won here. So this is a great place to get an education. This is a great place to play football, and this is a great place to continue your story so you can continue on as a successful professional.
Major, since this announcement was made, I think you've been on the road most of the time recruiting and doing that. I was wondering, have you had a chance for it to soak in, and what did it feel like this morning when you walked out with the team on the field for the first time as the head coach?
You know, it really hasn't sunk in. You know, it's very similar, Joe. Whenever I was playing, I was in a backup role, and then you get put in the game. It's just to go do your job, and to go do my job is to get great players. As much as I love the coaching staff that we worked with last year, not a single one of them made a tackle. Not a single one of them made a football play. They're great men, they're great leaders, and they're great coaches, but I understand how this game is won. It's won by players. It's won by players who are playing for the guy on the left and right of them. It's won by players who trust their coaches. So we're going to try to recruit that same student athlete, and that's where my focus is.
Major, can you talk about your, over here on this side, I know it's new, but in terms of your staff, and have you thought about, I know you haven't had a lot of time yet, but have you thought about bringing in some former Cougars? That's always a question people have about these staffs.
Well, yes. I mean, right now I'm not going to get into names and things like that, but there's names that are pinned at certain spots that we're going to talk to and interview here after the bowl game. But to me right now, I think our emphasis and our priority needs to be on the game Saturday and these seniors. I don't think we need to be talking about the future quite yet, so I'll get to that as soon as we're done with the bowl game, and we'll get this 10th win, and then we'll move on.
Hunter, you've been working toward this moment for a long, Major, you've been working toward this moment for a long time. So when Hunter said to you, "You're our guy," can you recapture what your thoughts and emotions were?
Obviously, excitement. You know, anytime that you're in the running for a job, you know, there's a sense of self-worth that you feel when you get it, and there's disappointment when you don't. I think that's human nature. But just the responsibility, you know, the responsibility. I don't like to call it a job. It's a responsibility to the student athlete, from Coach Yeoman to Coach Browse to Coach Sumlin to Coach Herman. This has been a winning tradition here, so it's a responsibility of mine to build a program we continue to win championships and play for championships year in and year out.
Major, you talked about some of the mentors you had growing up in playing days in college. Have you heard from any of them since you got the job? And so, like some Mac and some other, what have they said to you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, Coach Herman, since we worked together lately, you know, received congratulations from Coach Herman minutes after it was released. Coach Brown obviously reached out and said congratulations, got a text message from Todd Graham and Penny Graham saying congratulations. So, you know, that makes me feel good, not just from the standpoint of congratulations, you got the job, but obviously they appreciated the job that I did for them. So it means a lot. I mean, when you've been all over the country in terms of coaching and people reach out to you years later, it does mean a lot.
This question is for President Couture and Chairman Tillman Fertitta. You've gone through this process with a Power 5 conference coming seeking you out. What is your mindset now as you move forward with a new coach and this new with somebody else who want to say, come kick the tires for y'all? How will y'all approach this now?
No, you did.
What's amazing is that even after the Navy loss, we were ranked 11th in the country and every team in front of us lost but Alabama, we would right now maybe still be in that Final Four playoff. And it's no different in football or basketball or baseball. This whole Power Five, Group of Five is nothing but words by the NCAA, and it has nothing to do with who you recruit and how you play on the field. So anybody that looks at, you get a little bit more money for TV being in a Power Five conference. It's not a little bit, it's a lot. But it has nothing to do with the players when you're in a city of Houston. They get to play out on this field, and then after their days, don't have to go anywhere. They get to stay right here in the city of Houston where people recognize them and they can get good jobs. That's what it's all about. So do I think one day they're going to realign everything and Houston will be a part of it? Probably so. I hope they just get rid of the whole term Power Five and Group of Five, because it really makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because a break here and there, we don't play all those games in a 28-day period. We could be sitting there right now playing one of those other three teams. And in basketball, it makes no difference whatsoever. The number one team in the country right now is Villanova, okay? I don't even know if they have a football program anymore. So it just doesn't make any difference, okay? It's an excuse at best. Would we like to be in a bigger conference just for the fans? Would it be fun to play Oklahoma and Texas and Oklahoma State and Tech and TCU? Yes, more because of rivalries, because that's what was hard for our fans when all of a sudden when we got left out because the Speaker of the House and the Lieutenant Governor both went to Baylor. Everybody can't forget that. That's what happened, okay? All right? It's all political. And we had to go play, nothing against either one of these schools, East Carolina and Southern Mississippi. So it's hard going from Texas A&M and Texas to East Carolina and Southern Miss. But we're playing good teams. The American Athletic Conference in basketball and football is probably just as good as the Big 12 anyway. So don't worry about it. We'll be fine. And in the meantime, it's just win, baby.
Sam? Sam?
I got one for Major and one for Hunter. Major, you rattle off the list of your mentors. I guess, has any one particular of them had the most influence on you and your style to prepare you for this?
I think probably working a year with Nick Saban, Sam. I just think that he's in the major leagues. Not a lot of people are playing Farm A ball. I think that he is ahead of the game from that standpoint. Just his organization, the hand that he has in everything, the way he distributes roles and gives everybody a sense of motivation, a sense of purpose when they walk into the office. He does a phenomenal job with recruiting, phenomenal job with his defensive staff, his offensive staff, really gets the big picture. And despite what you may see, he's someone who does genuinely care about his players. He cares about them from a professional standpoint, not just the professional football league, but he cares about them. And I really learned a lot in that 1 year. And also Coach Brown, the same thing. I've worked for him for 7 years. I played for him for 4. Just a tremendous human being. When you get in those pressure-filled jobs, it's very easy to turn your focus on you and your career and your salary. And he always kept it about his players. He continues to be that way about his former players, his former coaches. He's been a tremendous resource throughout this process, but even through the hard years, even when I was out of football for a year. He was a tremendous resource and very supportive and very kind heart and a Hall of Famer.
And Hunter, I think it was mentioned that a lot of high school football coaches in the state reached out to you. How much did that play into your decision here?
Well, the high school football players, that's our lifeline. I mean, the recruiting game, and as Coach said, there's no coaches that make tackles and score touchdowns. Those are done by players. And so the relationships that Coach Applewhite had, not just here in Houston, but across the state of Texas, was quite evident in the number of coaches that reached out to me during this process, high school coaches. So it plays a big part in it, there's no doubt about it.
Joseph?
Major, you mentioned looking ahead when you do start mapping out your staff. It's not uncommon for coordinator who becomes the head coach to still dabble in whatever they were doing. As far as play calling, will that be something that you'll still have a hand in, or will you have a specific offensive coordinator / play caller?
Right. We will have a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator that can run that room. On game day, it will be a very similar setup to what Tom and I had in terms of bouncing ideas off, of each other between drives, between series, in terms of what's working, what's not working. So we'll continue to have a very symbiotic relationship in that respect.
And I know it's early in terms of style, but you mentioned earlier just the exciting brand. Are there things that now as a head coach, are there things that you've kind of maybe had in the back pocket in terms of style and things you wanted to do once you were coach with that offense?
There's, and you're going to have to change, each year, Joe. I mean, year in and year out, you have a different set of pieces. That's the fun part about offense and defensive coordinating, even special teams, is that when different pieces come up, you're still trying to reach the end zone or hold someone out of the end zone. So it's about being innovative and creative with what talents you have on hand, what ingredients you have, to be able to, kind of work around those things, or work with those things, I should say. But not much different. I felt that we were very aggressive on the defensive side of the football, multiple looks to confuse quarterbacks. I felt we were very multiple as an offense, formationally in the run game and in the passing game. And then special teams-wise, you saw several breaks this year in some critical ball games where you have to take some risks. And those risks are obviously going to have high rewards. So very similar in that style, but a little bit different in how we're going to have to go about it with different personnel.
We got time for just a couple more. Greg,
Major,
go ahead.
was there a point along this road that led you here where you said to yourself, without question, I know that I'm prepared to take over a program with championship aspirations as a head football coach for the first time?
Absolutely. I've been chomping at the bit. From the standpoint of being around great mentors, and I'm no different than any other football coach out there. When you sit in that staff room, you hear certain things that you are going to do, and you hear certain things that you aren't going to do. And so you're always formulating your philosophy and your way of doing things. And I think you have to continue to evolve as a coach. You have to continue to grow and professionally develop and work around your team and the different types of identities that your team has. But no, there was not a specific point. I've always been chomping at the bit and still am.
Mark.
Major, you said Hunter got you. How special was that to have Greg officially introduce you at this big moment?
It's the best part of my day. I just go back to players. I mean, our coach is important, our scheme's important, absolutely. I'm not dismissing that. I'm not saying we can just recruit a bunch of great players and throw them out there and win games. You can't do that. But when you see someone that has the humility that Greg has, the competitiveness that Greg has, the heart that he has, the family that he's raised from, you get to meet them, spend time with them, it's really special. It's really special. He means a lot to me and my family. I just think that we as coaches, sometimes it becomes about us, it becomes about our contracts, it becomes about our tenure, our program and our attention, and I've had enough attention in my life. I'm good with it. I want the spotlight to be on our program and our championships.
All right, we're going to have to leave it at that. Hey, if you get a chance, folks, and you see one of these seniors on your way out, thank them, because this is the winningest four-year class of seniors in the long history of Houston Cougar football. Also, we'd like to recognize with Mayor Turner, Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Thank you very much for being here. We're going to have a photo op up here and call it a day. Thank you all for being here.